On the air. From the Blue Raider Network, it's time for Countdown to First Pitch. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance and agent Andy Womack, Lightning's Locker Room and Phillips Bookstore, Granis and Associates, Las Casas Drugs, and by Middle Tennessee Electric. Now, let's go to the ballpark.
There is nothing quite like a Sunday rubber match in the world of college baseball. And today we have a Texas-sized series to decide between two teams fighting for their CUSA tournament lives. Yesterday, Middle Tennessee fought back with moxie and determination to even the series against Sam Houston with their most home runs in a game since 2024. And now they hope to springboard those bombs into a full-blown explosion today to clinch their first CUSA Road Series win of the season. It's the Bearcats, it's the Blue Raiders, and it's about that time. Dylan Simmons with you on the call once again, and welcome back to Huntsville, Texas, for what could be one of the most consequential games of the year for Blue Raider baseball, as they look to once and for all conquer their road demons and take a series win over Sam Houston. Game number one on Friday was headlined by a signature performance from maybe the best pitcher in the conference, Ryan Peterson. His 8 innings pitched with 9 strikeouts allowed for the Bearcats to clinch the series opener, but MTSU would not stay down for long. Yesterday, the Raiders turned the tide with a mountain of offense, headlined by 12 runs and 5 homers on their way to a 12-8 victory. Now, with all of that in the background, the only question left to be asked is what will today's rubber match bring, and what will it take for the Raiders to take the deciding fall in this best-of-3 Classic Series? Let's take a look at some of the stats for yesterday's game. We will start with MTSU's bats, and that's because they were on one in yesterday's game against the Bearcats. We talked to Nathan Brewer in the pregame. You'll hear a little bit from him later on in the show. 4 RBIs and 2 home runs yesterday for the left fielder. He was absolutely sensational. Lane Akers had a solo home run shot, ended up with 2 total hits on the day. Clay Badalak got a hit as well. Tyler Minnick had 4 RBIs, including a 2-run home run and 2 hits. Cooper Clapp had 2 hits and 1 RBI. And Owen Nowak had a great day with 3 hits, 1 RBI, and 2 runs scored for a man who's already in the top 5 in Conference USA in runs scored this season. However, maybe the biggest story of the day was MTSU's pitching, and especially that of Gavin King. Ended up taking the win for the Blue Raiders with 4 1/3 innings pitched, just 2 earned runs given up on a 2-run home run shot to Ryan Frandon, and 8 strikeouts as well in 81 total pitches. Chandler Alderman was also on the mound for 4 innings yesterday, gave up 5 earned runs and 2 strikeouts, and Bryant Baranek came in for 2 earned runs, or rather 2/3 of an inning as well for MTSU on their way to the 12-8 victory. Blue Raiders now sit at 22-21 overall, 9-11 in conference play. Sam Houston is now 19-24 overall, 8-12 in conference play. And when you take a look at the current CUSA standings, it is, as I've been saying all weekend, an absolute madhouse in the middle part of the conference. Western Kentucky and Middle now tied at 9-11 in the conference standings. Sam Houston right below MTSU at 8-12. They'll be looking to gain a tiebreaker today with a series win. New Mexico State is at 8-12, tied with Sam Houston. And Kennesaw State at 7-13 below all of those teams. Jacksonville State still leads the conference at 17-3, Liberty at 14-6, Missouri State at 14-6, and DBU also at 14-6. So needless to say, there is a lot of competition taking place between all of these teams so far here this year, and I'd say that will continue as time goes on. Let's soon take a look at the MTSU stats from Friday's game as well. Blue Raiders ended up getting a loss in that game 6-3. Didn't have quite the same hitting prowess as they had in yesterday's game number 2. But as I mentioned, a large part of that was due to Ryan Peterson and his 8 total innings and 9 strikeouts. And really the last 2 days have been headlined by two pitchers who have kind of taken over for their respective teams. And that leads into our pitching matchup for today's game. For Sam Houston, they're going to bring out Tate Hickman for today's contest. And Hickman, a pretty solid pitcher, especially here at home for the Bearcats, with a 6.51 ERA, 27 2/3 innings pitched, and making his 11th appearance of the year. He also has 22 strikeouts. His season high was 6 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts against DBU back on April 12th. Meanwhile, for the Blue Raiders, it's Cole Torbett, who absolutely shoved on the mound last weekend against Delaware in the Sunday matchup, helping the Blue Raiders to clinch a sweep, and was also named CUSA Pitcher of the Week for his performance, went 8 2/3 innings against the Blue Hens, as well as had several strikeouts against Delaware in that contest, but he's only going to be making his 5th appearance of the season. Torbett officially had 6 strikeouts against Delaware. That's the stat I was looking for. And he's got a big contest against him today with the Sam Houston team and their great batters they have at their disposal. If they bring what they had yesterday, it will certainly be a tough matchup for Torbett. However, he is comfortable sometimes in these stressful situations, and we'll see if he'll be able to handle the best that Sam Houston has to offer. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will hear from Nathan Brewer about his performance yesterday and how MTSU can take the series today in Texas against Sam Houston. Back in 2 minutes here on the Blue Raider pregame show from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's Locker Room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's Locker Room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to the pregame show. Dylan Simmons with you live from Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. The rubber match today on tap between MTSU and the Sam Houston Bearcats. Well, before Game 3 today, I got the chance to talk to Nathan Brewer about his sensational performance last night, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs, and what he and the team need to do to clinch the series today on the road against the Bearcats. Welcome back here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Dylan Simmons standing by with Mr. Nathan Brewer of the MTSU baseball team. Nathan, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Well, you guys had a great game yesterday against Sam Houston. Obviously, the offense was doing some great stuff. 5 total home runs, most in a game for you guys since 2024. 2 home runs for yourself. What was working for the team yesterday?
I think we just really thought about the wind and knew that it was going to be blowing to the left, so we just all decided like lefties to go backside and righties to go pull, just change the approach up.
Another thing that I noticed for you guys yesterday is that it felt like you were able to capture momentum in those crucial moments of yesterday's game. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I think think we just attacked whenever whenever this momentum shifted, and I think we just got those good hits that we really needed later in the game, and I think it helped a lot.
Yeah, timely hitting, always a big thing. Now, obviously, today's game is vital as far as the conference standings go, but also to capture your first CUSA Road Series win of the season. How are you guys approaching this game while also trying to take the series?
I think we're just trying to take it the same way we did yesterday, just trying to have fun and not make it like a job. Just keep trying to make it like you're playing a kid's game, you know?
I like that. Trying to have some fun today. Now, what will it take in your mind for MTSU to capture a win today against Sam Houston?
I think it just comes down to being disciplined at the plate and just to keep throwing strikes on the mound.
All right, sounds good, Nathan. Appreciate it, and go get them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Nathan Brewer from the Blue Raider baseball team talking about today's matchup and his great performance yesterday against these Bearcats. And we appreciate Nathan stopping by and talking to us for a couple of moments about what today's game might bring. Let's take a quick look at the Ascend starting lineups. Ascend Federal Credit Union is the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Learn more at ascend.org. We will start with the Sam Houston Bearcats, and it's about the same lineup they've had before. At third base is Ryan Frandon, center fielder Jarrett Curtis, Cade Corcoran at first base, Nathan Fink is the DH, Sean Basmore in right field, Hunter Alvord is the shortstop. Ty Marthel Johnny slots in at catcher, Kirby Orth in left field, Jace Martinez is the second baseman, and Tate Hickman will be the pitcher. Meanwhile, for your Blue Raiders, Owen Nowak will be in center field, Tyler Minnick behind the dish at catcher, Cooper Clapp will be at second base, Dean O'Neill at first base, Nathan Brewer in left field, Brett Rogers in right field, Lane Akers is the DH, Brett Von Dolan at third base, Clay Badalak at short, and Cole Torbett on the bump for your Blue Raiders. We're going to take one more 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders, the rubber match with Blue Raider Baseball on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. From the Blue Raider Network and Van Wagner College, it's time for Middle Tennessee State University baseball. Today's game is brought to you in part by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and by Middle Tennessee State University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Raider Baseball.
And indeed it is time for Blue Raider baseball in Texas. Dylan Simmons with you on this early Sunday afternoon, right about high noon now, for what should be a fantastic rubber match between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. MTSU trying to get win number 10 in conference play this season, and most importantly, clinch what would be their first CUSA Road Series victory of the season. We've said it a lot this weekend, but that's been the driving motivation for MTSU all weekend long, is to prove any doubters that they may have about their road struggles wrong and show that they can get it done in enemy territory. They already did it yesterday, but can they get it done for the series? We're going to find out today against the Bearcats. We talked about him before we went to break, but Tate Hickman on the mound today for the Sam Houston Bearcats. He's been overall a much better pitcher at home this season. Sophomore out of Chester, Texas, played at Woodville High School, made 18 appearances last year with 3 games started as a true freshman, 30 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts, and got a save in the second game of the year against Missouri State. So he is a very solid pitcher, especially in these sorts of high-pressure situations. And make no mistake, this is a very high-pressure situation. Owen Nowak will lead off for MTSU, the center fielder, as per usual. He'll be followed by Tyler Minnick and Cooper Clapp at the 1, 2, and 3 spots today, which is the exact same way that it was yesterday. In fact, it looks like it's going to be the exact same lineup that we saw in yesterday's game, with the numbers right where they were before. So looks like Jerry Myers and the staff liking what they saw from yesterday's performance, and why wouldn't you? 12 runs scored, 5 home runs. I think that's a pretty solid day if I had to say so myself. And I mentioned this as well in the pregame. It was the most home runs scored by MTSU in a game since 2024, when they had a 5 home run performance against the Liberty Flames. And now they'll hope for similar type of production today against these Bearcats in their orange shirts with white pants. Middle Tennessee with the all-gray/silver look and the beautiful blue lettering on the front. Nowak steps into the batter's box, and we're just about set for the big-time rubber game between the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders from Don Sanders Stadium. So glad you're joining us. Let's get this party started. Hickman's first pitch is upstairs for ball number 1, and the count goes to 1-0 on Owen Nowak, who had a tremendous day yesterday. 3 hits and 2 more runs to his collection, 1 RBI. Top 5 in the conference in runs scored this season. Watches Hickman's pitch come in for a strike. 89 miles per hour on the fastball. Count goes to 1-1. We'll see a lot more fastballs from Hickman in this game. It's his specialty, and he likes to challenge hitters from the mound. Nowak, a high fly ball deep to right field, back towards the wall, and out of here. What a way to start the day. Owen Nowak with a solo shot to give the Raiders a 1-0 lead. Whoa. A monstrous blast here in the early going. Some may say a Texas-sized home run, and the Blue Raiders, just like that, get another home run this weekend. How about that, Mr. Nowak? He wasn't part of the home run party yesterday, but he is happy to join today for MTSU. And just like that, Blue Raiders on the scoreboard. And here's a drive into left field for a base hit. Tyler Minnick says, I've got some stuff to show as well, as he's got a single. MTSU on fire with the bats early on. And Jerry Myers, before the game, talked to the team, and he said to this squad, and of course I'm just paraphrasing, to go out there and have fun. And, well, I'd say they're having a lot of fun so far. And that's what you want to do in the game of baseball. Play loose, play free. Don't think too much about the circumstances. Just take what you can get. Cooper Clapp to the plate. Watches this pitch come in from Hickman, and the count is now 1-0 on a low fastball. But just like that, 2 hits for MTSU on the 2 first batters of the game, one of them being a massive home run shot. Now Clapp at the plate, .324 average on the season, lefty batter. And that's one thing that Hickman is going to have to contend with early on, is the amount of lefties that MTSU has at their disposal. Nowak a lefty batter, as is Clapp. Minnick not, but he's had success as well. Counts 2-0. And this pitch from Hickman, low and inside, count moves to 3-0 on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. And MTSU challenging this sophomore pitcher early on, trying to make this a quick day. And this pitch looked a little high, but is in for a strike. Count is now at 3-1 on that fastball. Hickman hasn't gone away from it, for better or worse so far. He's given up 21 earned runs this year, but delivers another strike here to run the count full. And that was just the second home run of the season that Tate Hickman's given up. So he's not one with an affinity for giving up a lot of homers, but Owen Nowak, kind of an exception to the rule. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, and Tate Hickman will deliver his first strikeout of the day as he gets Cooper Clapp swinging. One down for the Blue Raiders here in the top half of the first inning, and maybe that'll help soothe the nerves a little bit of this sophomore pitcher from Chester, Texas. Here comes Dean O'Neill to the plate. He had a solo home run yesterday in the middle part of the game to help MTSU take what was then a 6-5 lead over Sam Houston. And this pitch is going to get away from the catcher, Marthaljani, and moving on to second is Minnick. The pitch was low from Hickman and to the outside. Minnick recognized it immediately, and he'll move into scoring position. Fans still filing into Don Sanders Stadium as we speak here in Huntsville, Texas. Beautiful early afternoon for some college baseball. Very crucial series. Counts at 1-0 for O'Neill. Pitch on the way from Hickman is in for a strike. And the count moves to 1-1 as he delivered a nice fastball. Nowak's homer, by the way, 386 feet, his 7th homer of the season for those curious. Counts at 1-1. O'Neill lets it go by. And the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike. Dean O'Neill, 57 hits on the season, 46 RBIs, 11 doubles, and 11 home runs. Top 10 in the conference in homers. And this pitch from Hickman will be a little bit low, again on the fastball. Probably the quickest fastball he's thrown today at 92. And the count will be 3-1. Dean O'Neill, not one to be intimidated. Senior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Faces a 3-1 count. And this pitch just caught the outside corner. Count moves to 3-2. Blue Raiders swept Delaware last weekend at home, tying this series with Sam Houston yesterday. Now trying to get their second straight CUSA Series win. Payoff pitch. O'Neill is going to foul one towards the opposite side. It'll land above the Blue Raider bullpen, and the count will stay full. But as far as starts go, so far, this is about as good of a start as MTSU could ask for. Already up with a solo home run, already got a big hit from Minnick, and now the cleanup man, Dean O'Neill, is trying to add to it. Payoff pitch is high, and O'Neill draws a walk. So Dean O'Neill with a base on balls will make his way over to first base. 2 runners aboard for MTSU. Minnick at second, O'Neill at first, and that will send on Nathan Brewer. The man we talked to in the pregame had a 2-home run performance yesterday, and he's a guy that just gets better and better as the season continues on. We've seen his skill, his ability at the plate progress so well over these past few weeks. Tate Hickman trying to silence him as that's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. And even with the home run already secured, I'm sure MTSU does not want to leave 2 runners stranded on base here. They want to cash in and get an early Mike Tyson uppercut on these Bearcats. Here's a chopper from Brewer to short, picked up by Ulver. Throw to second for 1 out. Throw to first is going to be away from the bag. Coming home is Minnick. He'll score, and running his way to second now, sliding and out is Brewer. All kinds of chaos in the infield, but MTSU takes a 2-0 lead, and the top of the first is over. Minnick scored on the wild throw, and then Brewer tried to take second. And the Bearcats did get that second out, but no matter what, MTSU on top 2-0, and also a solo home run shot from Owen Nowak in the top of the first to get the scoring started. We'll be back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Don't go anywhere.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Blue Raiders on top 2-0 over the Sam Houston Bearcats as we approach the bottom half of the first inning. Dylan Simmons with you, and it was a pretty picturesque start for MTSU, all things considered. Owen Nowak with a leadoff solo home run over the right field fence, and also a run scored on a wild throw from the shortstop Hunter Alvord as he tried to get Nathan Brewer out at first base. He had already gotten one out on Dean O'Neill at second on a ground ball, and then hoped to get the double play, but the throw was wide. Tyler Minnick, who had already made his way to third, then scored, and Brewer decided to try to go for second as the throw went to the MTSU dugout, but a relay was performed, and the ball got to second in time to get Brewer out. So that's how the inning came to a chaotic and somewhat messy end, but the most important thing is that MTSU's on top 2-0, and now Ryan Frandon at the plate, who's already got a couple homers this weekend, to face off with Cole Torbett. And Torbett's first pitch of the day is going to be upstairs. Count goes to 1-0. The southpaw Cole Torbett has been a revelation in his short time with the Blue Raiders this season. 1.23 average and 14 2/3 innings pitched. 1-0 record as this pitch goes to the outside. Count goes to 2-0. And of course, like I said in the pregame, he was named CUSA Pitcher of the Week following a tremendous 8 2/3 performance against Delaware back on Sunday. And this pitch looked a little high at first, but umpire rules it as a strike. Count goes to 2-1 as Corbett targeted the inside corner on the lefty batter, Ryan Frandon. 2-1 coming up, and this pitch is going to be a little bit to the outside for Torbett, making his 5th appearance of the season. Before the Delaware game, he did not have a performance above 3 innings so far this year, so that was a big departure. Jerry Myers hoping he can do that again, but he delivers ball 4 here, and Ryan Frandon will reach first base on an opening walk. Never how you want to start if you're Cole Torbett, but sometimes it does take a little bit to get settled in. Sometimes as a starting pitcher, you need a couple of batters to get to where you need to be, and that could be the case as well with Tate Hickman. But we'll see if Torbett will be able to be a little bit less giving as far as runs go. And, well, let's see here. The count's going to immediately move to 1-0. Or check at 0-1, actually. Not sure what happened there. Must have been something that Torbett did prematurely. A bunt's going to be laid down, or attempted to be laid down. It's fouled here by the batter Jarrett Curtis, and the count goes to 0-2. Tried to foul it drive it along the third base line, and now Jerry Myers is going to make his way out of the dugout, and he's going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire. Not a long conversation, and thankfully not as animated as the one he had on Friday that ended up getting him thrown out of the game when he argued a call at second base. Count goes to 0-2 on Curtis. Runner at first is still Ryan Frandon. 0-2 pitch, and Curtis tries the bunt again, lays it down. Torbett picks it up, underhand toss to first, and gets the out. So a bit of a transaction bunt for the Bearcats. Curtis out on the 1-3, and advancing to second is Ryan Frandon, one away in the bottom half of the first inning. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate for the Bearcats. And this freshman has been very impressive this weekend for Sam Houston. The freshman out of College Station, Texas, entered the weekend with a .284 average, as well as 22 RBIs and 27 runs, and he started now every game this season, all 42 for the Bearcats, trying to make a instant impact early. This pitch by Torbett on a breaking ball to the outside. Count goes to 1-0. Corcoran with 8 doubles and 5 homers as well this year. Waiting on a 1-0 pitch from Torbett, keeping a close eye at second. Breaking ball by Torbett is high, and the count goes to 2-0. Yesterday, Cade Corcoran had 2 hits with 1 run for the Bearcats. Always a threat at the plate. Got to respect his ability if you're Torbett. This pitch by Torbett is high and tight. Count goes to 3-0. Just like that, Torbett in a little bit of danger here. Could potentially allow Corcoran to first base on a walk, as he did Ryan Frandon just a few moments ago. Frandon looking pretty sporty near second. Torbett is going to deliver ball 4. Just a little bit to the outside as he was trying to go for that outside corner on Corcoran. Corcoran didn't bite. That's 2 walks in the first 3 batters of the game for Cole Torbett and MTSU. So here comes the cleanup man in the order, Nathan Fink, the designated hitter, who was massive yesterday for the Bearcats as he got a 2-run home run. It was his only hit of the day, but it was a big one that put them on top by a score of 5-2. This pitch comes in high. Count goes to 1-0 as it looks like we're going to see Tyler Minnick have a conversation with Cole Torbett here after another high pitch. Probably wants to make sure that his pitcher's in the right frame of mind, calm him down a little bit, make sure that he's where he needs to be. And with all due respect to the Delaware Blue Hens, this Sam Houston team has a little bit more consistency in their batting efforts. And it can be a little bit tougher to keep the ball away from these guys and have it to where that they'll flinch on one of those outside breaking balls. Sam Houston a little more disciplined at the plate. They're putting that to good use right now. I think I misspoke a moment ago as well. Fink's home run yesterday was actually near the start of the game and got Sam Houston an early 2-0 lead. It was a 2-run homer as this pitch comes in. Count goes to 1-1. But no matter when it was, Nathan Fink is obviously a guy that you don't want to mess around with. Good recovery by Torbett on that strike. Took a look back at second. Feigned a throw over there. Cooper Clapp is all over Ryan Frandon, trying to make sure that he doesn't escape his sight. We know that the Bearcats love to steal base. Corcoran and Frandon maybe not the most famous guys on the team for that. 1-1, and here's a line shot deep into left field. On the run and making the catch is Brewer, right in front of the scoreboard for out number 2. What a brilliant job of chasing that ball down by Nathan Brewer, as it was driven deep into left field. Had to come over in a hurry to make the catch, but he did so and denied Fink of what looked for sure to be a base hit. Sean Bazemore will come to the plate. Runner still on first and second, but the Bearcats in danger of having a couple of runners stranded. Bazemore, and here's a drive towards left that's just foul to the line. Just a little bit left of that left field line. Count goes to 0-1. And again, that's another close call for Middle Tennessee. If that ball gets down, it's probably rolling all the way towards that left field corner and could have easily scored both Frandon and Corcoran. Instead, the count at 0-1. Torbett, breaking ball, and this one a little bit low. Count goes to 1-1. At 73 miles per hour against Bazemore, who had a couple of brilliant throws on Friday to deny MTSU base runners. Low pitch by Torbett here. Count goes to 2-1. Those throws from right field got Brett Rogers and Clay Badilak out at second and third respectively, and that last throw on Badilak got Jerry Myers ejected after he argued the call. Counts at 2-1. Here's a chopper up and over the head of Torbett. Badilak picks it up, throws to first, and he just got it there in the nick of time. What a great play. What great awareness by Clay Badilak. It went up and over Torbett. He had to move quickly to get to that baseball, and then off balance got the throw off to first base to get Bazemore out. So that'll do it for the bottom half of the first inning. Bearcats put 2 runners aboard but can't score, and MTSU holds a 2-0 lead. Back for the top of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Atmos Energy is delighted to sponsor the Blue Raiders and fuel homes and businesses in Middle Tennessee with affordable, efficient, and reliable natural gas. For today and generations to come, natural gas is the smart choice for fueling our energy future. Dylan Simmons with you here in Huntsville, Texas, and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 2-0, following a pretty fun top of the first for MTSU, all things considered. And fun's been the name of the game as of late for MTSU, especially coming into today's matchup. That is the message that the coaching staff, Jerry Myers, and all the players tried to harp on today, was to make sure to go out there and have fun. Don't think as much about the score. Just go out there and enjoy the game of baseball. And I'm sure they've been enjoying it so far with some of the great plays we've seen both offensively and defensively. Owen Nowak got a solo home run shot over the right field wall. Tyler Minnick scored a run on a throwing error in the top of the first. And now Brett Rogers comes to the plate. Number 6 man in the order due up. 6, 7, and 8 for MTSU against Tate Hickman as he fires in a strike. Count goes to 0-1 on that 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Rogers back in right field. He's got Akers and Von Dolan who will follow after him. Hickman works fast on another fastball but can't find the zone. Count evens at 1-1. Rogers standing in. Yesterday, Brett Rogers had 1 hit and 1 run against the Bearcats. Here's a ground ball to second. Martinez there throws to first, and that will be a 4-3 for out number 1. About the first routine ground out we've seen on the middle side today. One down here in the top half of the second. And that will bring up Lane Akers, who was able to get a big-time solo home run late in yesterday's game to pretty much put an exclamation point on what turned out to be a middle victory. Nobody on base here with Hickman. And his pitch is going to be low on a 79-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Count goes to 1-0. Bearcats looking for win number 9 in CUSA play this year. MTSU looking for their 10th win in conference. And searching for their first CUSA Road Series win since 2024 against Jacksonville State. Feel as though early they've got the chance to do that. Akers swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1. Dug after that 88-mile-per-hour fastball. Couldn't quite grab it. Akers looking for a signature performance on this Sunday. Swing and a miss again. Once more went after a Hickman fastball and caught nothing but oxygen. Count goes to 2-2. Akers with a .322 average on the season, 38 hits, 21 runs, and now 5 homers. And here's a ground ball to short, thrown on to first for a 6-3 and out number 2. Again, Hickman working fast. Akers looked as though for a second he might have something, but Hunter Alvord quickly moved over, grabbed that ball for the 6-3 and out number 2. So Brett Von Dolan, the man they call Vondo, heads to the plate. Third baseman for MTSU, and that sun, that hot Texas sun, which has been absent for most of the afternoon, finally comes out. Ground ball to third here, thrown on, and getting there in time on that throw was Ryan Frandon, able to get it out to Cade Corcoran for out number 3. A brilliant 5-3 for Sam Houston. Not even sure how that Frandon was able to pull that off, but he did. And that will lead to a 1-2-3 inning for the Bearcats against the Blue Raiders. And the score remains 2-0. Back for the bottom of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your Super Sunday so far. We got a super game here in the rubber match between Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston. Blue Raiders on top 2-0 as we approach the bottom half of the second inning. Sam Houston 1-2-3'd MTSU just a couple moments ago. And now Hunter Alvord, the shortstop, will lead off in this frame, the number 6 man in the order. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bearcats against Cole Torbett, who struggled a little bit in the bottom of the first, but got through it well enough. Delivers a strike here, and the count goes to 0-1. Put a couple runners on base with a walk. Frandon and Corcoran, to be exact. Torbett fires in an inside breaking ball as the count goes to 2-0. Cole Torbett trying to make the most of this second straight Sunday with a start. You could argue he's the defending, at least, CUSA Pitcher of the Week. Here's a drive into left field, and Brewer ranges over to make the catch. Had to make it right in front of the warning track on that deep shot from Hunter Alvord. Couldn't get enough clearance on it, and that will bring on Ty Marthaljani. First time that we've seen him this weekend for Sam Houston. Working as the catcher today. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. The senior played from Salina High School and transferred in from Temple College. Enters with a .207 batting average today. 10 RBIs along with 9 runs, 12 hits and 1 home run. Had a season-high 3 hits versus McNeese back on Valentine's Day. 3 RBIs versus Jack State on March 14th, as the count is at 1-0. This ball popped up by Marthaljani, and it's going to land somewhere over the MTSU bullpen as the count evens at 1-1. Not the only Temple College transfer that Sam Houston has on their roster. Of course, we talked a little bit about that yesterday as well, as this pitch comes in a little wide. Count goes to 2-1. Sam Houston was also able to get Zach Johnson from Temple College, who pitched on Friday for the Bearcats. Here's a ground ball to third, picked up by Von Dolan, throws on to first for a 5-3, and that will be out number 2. So it's interesting how the game has kind of followed in patterns as of late. We saw an explosive first inning for MTSU. Sam Houston did their best to respond and was able to get a couple runners on base, and then quiet top of the second for MTSU, and now so far in the bottom of the frame, or bottom of the second, Sam Houston following course. Kirby Orth will come to the plate. Left fielder back at it again today with 2 outs, and he showed bunt for a second, pulled back. That's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Great fastball by Torbett. Yesterday for Sam Houston, Kirby Orth ended up getting 1 hit and 1 run against the Blue Raiders. Had an RBI single on Friday. Counts 0-1 here. Torbett, low breaking ball. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And as I was saying in the top of the second, that hot Texas sun has reappeared, and that could wear down the energy of some of these players a little bit quicker. It had been overcast all morning. High fastball from Torbett. Count goes to 2-1. Luckily for the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders, they're not wearing their black uniforms today, which would not be fun out here in the hot Texas sun, I'd imagine. Counts at 2-1. Torbett, a little bit low on that fastball, and the count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike. Cole Torbett trying to avoid giving up what would be his 3rd walk of this game, as he issues a 3-1, and that's low for ball 4. So Kirby Orth works a 5-pitch walk against Cole Torbett with 2 outs and makes his way over to first base. Jace Martinez will come to the plate, second baseman for the Bearcats, with his first at-bat of this game. Martinez did not have a hit yesterday, went 0 for 3, but did reach base on a walk. Steps into the box here is the 9-hole hitter. 2 away, runner on first. Torbett looking for a response, places that pitch inside. Count goes to 1-0. Got to admire the great support that the Sam Houston Bearcats have. A lot of fans have made their way out on all 3 days. That's been fun to see. Of course, there have been several MTSU fans here as Torbett fires in a pitch for a strike. And they gave the team a nice ovation following yesterday's victory as they made their way back to the bus. And it was greatly appreciated. Count at 1-1. This pitch is inside, and the count now moves to 2 balls and 1 strike as Torbett went back to the breaking ball. By the way, the bus that I talked about a little bit earlier on Friday, still back there deep in right center field, so I'm just waiting to see if any home run this weekend gets close to it. Here is a ground ball up the middle past Torbett for a base hit, and that will be a big-time single with 2 outs for Jace Martinez, and it went right under the feet of Cole Torbett as it made its way into center field. 2 aboard for the Bearcats, and that will send on Ryan Frandon. That's not the kind of dancing that Cole Torbett wants to do. Frandon reached on a walk his last time up, and for the 2nd straight inning, the Bearcats have put a couple runners on base. Came up empty back in the bottom half of the 1st. We'll see if the 2nd inning has any sort of different result. Torbett trying to say not so fast as he fires in a strike. Count goes to 0-1 on an off-speed pitch. And believe it or not, that's the first hit that Sam Houston has gotten today, despite putting 4 guys on base in this game. 0-1, high curveball, too high for Torbett. Count goes to 1-1. He's tried that curveball out quite a bit against Sam Houston to mixed success so far. 1-1 pitch coming up to Frandon. And here's a ball chopped towards the MTSU dugout foul. Counts 1-2. I sometimes wonder for a pitcher in this situation if your last performance and how great you did makes it to where you apply a little bit more pressure on yourself. Even if you don't mean to, it may just be a natural thing because of the standard you think you set last time. Going to be curious to see how Torbett responds. Here's a fly ball deep into left field. Brewer back towards the track, and he can't make the catch. It bounces off the wall. 1 run scores. Martinez around third. He'll score as well, and it is a bases-clearing RBI double for Ryan Frandon. The man who's been dynamic all weekend long with a 2-run double to tie this game in the bottom half of the second. Brewer did everything he could to try to capture that baseball as it made its way towards the wall, and he just could not make the catch. It was right out of his grip and then crashed off the wall to where both Orth and Martinez were able to score. Now Jarrett Curtis comes to the plate in this tie game. Pitch is high, and the count goes to 1-0 off the arm of Torbett. So the Bearcats getting that explosiveness that MTSU had in the top of the first. Now they've found it. And it looks as though this could be a game of answers. Ground ball to Badalak, throws on to first, and that will be a needed out number 3. But it is one batter too late for MTSU as Ryan Frandon delivers a game-changing RBI double deep into left field. And we're all knotted up after 2 innings. 2-2 is your score. Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit. Because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to hot Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call at Don Sanders Stadium on this Sunday afternoon. And we've got some hot action on the baseball field, all tied up at 2 runs apiece between the Blue Raiders and the Bearcats. A bases-clearing RBI double just a moment ago from Ryan Frandon knotted this game up at 2 runs apiece. And now MTSU will have to see if they can answer in this top half of the 3rd inning as Clay Badalak will come to the plate for his first at-bat of the contest. Badalak, the shortstop for MTSU. Number 9, number 1, and number 2 due up in the order for the Blue Raiders as they face off once again with Tate Hickman. Had a bit of a rough start in the top of the first as he gave up a solo home run to Owen Nowak, and then a throwing error by the Bearcats infield allowed for Tyler Minnick to score. And now MTSU trying to regain momentum and the lead as Hickman tries to settle in and fires in a strike. Count evens at 1-1. But I think what that second inning showed is that this is going to be a game of responses, and whoever responds better will win. Fly ball to left field, and that will be roped down by Kirby Orth for out number 1. Looked promising at first for Badalak. Needed a little bit more distance to clear the wall, and it did not. So 1 down in the top of the 3rd. But here's a man who's already cleared that wall once today. The wall in right field, to be specific. Owen Nowak to the plate. Got a solo home run shot to lead off this game back in the top half of the 1st inning. Pitch on the way from Hickman, and a nice high fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Owen Nowak, top 5 in both walks forced and runs scored this season. Watches that pitch come in low. Count goes to 1-1. And the junior out of Franksville, Wisconsin, has made himself right at home in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and is trying to do the same here today in Huntsville, Texas. Here's a ground ball towards the right side, picked up by the first baseman Corcoran, throws on to Hickman, and they're able to get the out. Just barely was able to beat out Owen Nowak for a 1-3. And that will bring on Tyler Minnick. 3-1, I should say, actually, as it was the first baseman who grabbed it first, but Hickman was in on the play. So 2 away here in the top half of the third inning. Minnick will come on. Got a single immediately after Nowak's home run back in the top half of the first inning. 2 away. Nobody on base. Pitch by Hickman. High and inside for ball number 1. Talked to Minnick yesterday on our pregame show. Super enthusiastic about Game 2 and his team's chances, and he was proven to be correct in that assumption. And here is a drive towards left. Ground ball picked up by the shortstop and thrown on to first base for a 6-3. Hunter Alvord able to get out Tyler Minnick. And for the second straight frame, the Blue Raiders are 1-2-3'd, and the score will stay tied at 2 runs apiece. Back for the bottom of the third in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Don Sanders Stadium, home of the Sam Houston Bearcats. Dylan Simmons with you, and this is Blue Raider baseball on a Sunday afternoon. The rubber match here in Conference USA between the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders is off to an exciting start, with MTSU tied with Sam Houston by a score of 2-2-2. And that's a lot of twos, I know. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate. 3, 4, and 5 due up in the order for the Bearcats. Corcoran, Nathan Fink, and Sean Bazemore. Corcoran reached on a walk his last time up against Torbett, who's trying to make sure that he doesn't give Sam Houston any more momentum after they grabbed it in a big way off the bat of Ryan Frandon. Bases clearing RBI double in the bottom of the second tied the game for Sam Houston and got us to our current 2-2 score. Pitch by Torbett, going to be low. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders have played 3 teams on the road in CUSA outside of Sam Houston. Started off going on the road against Missouri State, lost that series in Springfield as that's fouled towards the Blue Raider dugout. Counts 1-1. Got swept in that series, then had to go play Jacksonville State on the road. Had a couple of close games, but ultimately got swept there and then didn't have the offensive power they needed when they played Louisiana Tech a couple weekends ago. Lost that one as well, as that's a swing and a miss for Corcoran. Count goes to 1-2. But this weekend has been different. The bats have shown up in a big way these last couple games so far. Pitching has been consistent. Now they're trying to finish things off on this Sunday afternoon. Counts at 1-2. And here is a drive into right center field for a base hit. Cade Corcoran answers the call and gets a big-time leadoff single for the Bearcats. Up and over the head of the second baseman, Cooper Clapp, who tried to jump to make a play on it, but there was no grabbing that ball out of the air. And the Bearcats' bats, again, take a bite out of the Blue Raiders once again. Their third hit on Cole Torbett, and that will send on Nathan Fink. Fink flew a ball out to left field his first time up. Right now has Corcoran over at first. Torbett takes a look there and tries a pickoff on Corcoran. Unsuccessful. First time we've seen Torbett do that today. Corcoran has stolen 4 bases this season, has been caught stealing twice. It's not as dynamic as some of the other Bearcat base runners, which we've seen them put that base running ability to good use both yesterday and on Friday, and help them to secure a win on Friday and make it close on Saturday. No outs. Another pitch to Fink is going to be low. Count goes to 1-0. Nathan Fink talked about what he did yesterday. On Friday for Sam Houston, Fink went 0 for 4 against MTSU. 1-0 pitch, and here's a drive right to the left fielder. Brett Von Dolen makes the catch, and that will be out number 1. So Von Dolen, the third baseman, beg your pardon, able to make that catch and get the line out on Nathan Fink, and it was hit right to him. No issue whatsoever for Von Dolen, and that will send on Sean Bazmore. Runner at first is still Corcoran, but that is certainly a big help for MTSU, and that was great awareness by Brett Von Dolen to be right there to make the catch on that line shot. This pitch comes in low. Count goes to 1-0. Bazmore grounded out to short his last time up. Has Corcoran waiting at first base. Torbett keeping a close eye over there. And here's a softly hit ball right back to Torbett. Throws to first, and that will be out number 2. So for all intents and purposes, it is a swinging bunt. A 1-3 that will take out Bazmore, but does advance Corcoran on to second. 2 away here in the bottom half of the third inning. So Hunter Ulver, the shortstop, comes to the plate. Lined one out to Nathan Brewer his last time up. Bearcats have gotten a base runner on in every single inning so far. Didn't score in the first, took advantage in the second. Will they be able to match it in the third? As that pitch comes inside to Alford. Count goes to 1-0. He's been a pretty dynamic shortstop all weekend. Has done a good job defensively. Hasn't been the most consistent batter, but has contributed. Had 1 hit and 1 run yesterday. Now trying to get his first hit of the day today. Here's a throwback to second. Trying to get a pickoff on Corcoran. Unsuccessful. As Corcoran just got back in the nick of time. Count goes to 1-0. Bearcats trying to seize the momentum that they took in full stride back in the second inning. MTSU trying to shut it down with Torbett. Counts at 1-0. This fastball comes in a little bit low. Count goes to 2-0. Torbett trying to size up Ulver on that pitch. Ulver didn't bite. And this is where that chess match dynamic between batter and pitcher comes into full play. Counts at 2-0. This ball fouled up above the netting and the press box here at Don Sanders Stadium. Count moves to 2-1. Cole Torbett, in his previous appearances this season, had his first one against Southern Indiana back on March 31st. Went 1 inning. Went 3 innings against Jack State on April 3rd. 2 innings against Louisiana Tech on April 12th. 8 2/3 against Delaware last Sunday. 2-1. Here's a high fly ball into left center field. Brewer wants it, and he will camp underneath it to make the catch for out number 3. So that will do it for the third inning. Bearcats do get 1 runner to second base, Cade Corcoran, but are unable to get the lead in this contest. We remain tied at 2-2. Back for the top of the 4th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call, and we've reached the top half of the fourth inning between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, all tied up at 2 runs apiece. MTSU gave up a single to Cade Corcoran in the bottom half of the third, but didn't allow him to get past second. And as a result, the game remains tied, and MTSU with a chance to take the lead right back away. Tyler Minnick was unsuccessful and grounded out to short his last time up, so it brings on Cooper Clapp to start off this top of the fourth. 3, 4, 5 due up in the order for MTSU as Tate Hickman still on the mound. Fires in a pitch wide, count goes to 1-0. Hickman gave up a solo home run to Owen Nowak in the top of the first and a single to Tyler Minnick. Has somewhat cooled things off since then. Did allow one more run, but not really his fault. It was on a throwing error by the Bearcats infield. Otherwise, MTSU has been scoreless since. 1-1. Pitch to the outside here on Clapp. On an 87-mile-per-hour fastball from Hickman. Count goes to 2-1. Hickman's a guy that likes to work fast, as we've seen so far in this game. 2-1 pitch, and it's a high and tight fastball for ball 3. And, of course, Cooper Clapp, no stranger to forcing walks this season, would be more than happy to force another one. Had a season-high 4 hits versus Belmont back on April 14th, and 3 RBIs versus New Mexico State on March 27th. And this pitch is outside for ball 4. Good work by Cooper Clapp as he forces a 5-pitch walk to start things off in the top half of the fourth inning, and he'll make his way over to first base to bring on Dean O'Neill. O'Neill worked a walk his last time up. Tate Hickman so far in this game has issued a total of 2 walks. The second was from Clapp a second ago, and of course the first was from O'Neill. So these 2 guys have found some magic there, but a swing and a miss as O'Neill was going for the fences on that fastball. Count goes to 0-1. And I think as far as guys who read pitches and understand opportunities to strike on this team, O'Neill's probably among the best of them. He just has a knack for knowing when it's time to be aggressive. 0-1 as he watches that pitch go by for a strike, kind of hesitated as he looked to swing. Ended up not doing so, but it was a strike anyway. Quickly, the count moves to 0-2, and Hickman trying to finish off Dean O'Neill. 0-2 pitch. O'Neill, high chopper, right back to the mound. Throw to second by Hickman for 1 out. Throw to first is not going to be in time. O'Neill just got to first base on the fielder's choice, but Clapp is out at second, 1 away here in the top half of the fourth inning. That was a very close play at first base, and it's fortunate for O'Neill that he hit the ball where he did. Not a bad decision by Hickman as the ball was chopped right to him. Ended up throwing it to second to get the out, and then the throw to first was just about in time, but O'Neill just able to use enough speed. So still a runner on base as Nathan Brewer comes to the plate. Had an odd sequence last time he was up to the plate. Chops this one towards the Blue Raider dugout foul. Counts 0-1. Ended up batting the ball into the field of play. Watched an out be delivered to O'Neill at second. Then watched the throw come into first wide. And from that, MTSU scored a run, and then Brewer decided to go for second. Didn't make it in time, and the inning was over. Here's a fly ball over towards left field, racing after it, and just watching it fall down in front of him is Orth. And that is a foul ball, just barely. Or is it? No, I think they're going to say that's a fair ball. They called it a fair ball, and then it bounced over the wall, so that's going to be a ground rule double for Nathan Brewer, and runners at second and third for MTSU. That was a very bizarre play. Orth kind of just watched it from left field, and then it apparently came down in the field of play, and MTSU with 2 runners in scoring position. I'm not sure I've seen something like that quite before. I don't know if Orth just thought it was going to go foul or what, but the way he reacted kind of stumped everybody. So Brett Rogers comes to the plate, And he will chop one on the right side. Here's a throw to first. There was some hesitation by Hickman as he looked to throw home, decided not to. O'Neal scores, and MTSU extends the lead to 3-0 with 2 outs. And that was a poor decision, I think, by Hickman. I understand in that spot that you want to make sure you can get an out, but because he hesitated, it allowed O'Neal to score. Brewer advances to third. Rogers was out at first, and now there's 2 away with the Blue Raiders lead at 3-0. So we've seen some odd circumstances take place to give MTSU this 3-0 lead. First, the very odd ground rule double off the bat of Nathan Brewer, and then a very odd ground out on Brett Rogers that scores Dean O'Neal. So the count is now 1-1, and MTSU has the lead. 3-2 with Akers at the plate. Brewer waiting at third. 1-1 pitch by Hickman. And he did, just for a moment, think about throwing it to home plate. I thought he was going to, but then kind of just hesitated and turned back to first. I just wonder what compelled him to make that choice. Counts at 2-1. Brewer will foul this one towards the left side. Or Akers, beg your pardon. Count goes to 2-2. And I'm sure Nathan Brewer, off of that odd-looking hit, didn't expect to, at the end of the day, be standing at third, but that's where he's at. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs coming up to Akers. Here's a high chopper fouled towards the Bearcats dugout. But most importantly for MTSU, you've got to take advantage of the moments and the circumstances that you're given, and that's what they've done to a tremendous degree so far, even though it's been very odd. Counts at 2-2. Akers lets the pitch go by, and it was a good choice. High off-speed pitch brings the count full at 3-2. So a payoff pitch coming up for Lane Akers as he's trying to follow up on Brett Rogers' RBI just a moment ago and bring home Brewer. Akers chops it right past Kevin Nichols near the third base line, and he tried to grab it but couldn't. So count stays full at 3-2 once again. Payoff pitch is coming up. Maybe the biggest one of the day so far for MTSU. 3-2. Akers swing and a miss, and Tate Hickman will end the top of the fourth with a strikeout swinging on Akers. But MTSU does play to run on an odd ground out from Brett Rogers. He gets the RBI, Dean O'Neal scores, and MTSU's on top by a score of 3-2. Back for the bottom of the fourth in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back here to the Blue Raider Network and WGNS. Dylan Simmons with you this afternoon. And your Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 3-2 after a very odd top half of the fourth inning. Saw one of the most bizarre ground rule doubles I've ever seen. Dean O'Neal ended up scoring on a very odd ground out in which the pitcher Tate Hickman hesitated, didn't throw home, instead went for first base. And MTSU, as a result of all of that, gets the lead. Now they got to try to protect it as Ty Marthaljani, the number 7 man in the order, comes to the plate, followed by Kirby Orth and Jace Martinez. 7, 8, 9 due up against Cole Torbett, who fires in this pitch a little bit wide. Count goes to 1-0. Cole Torbett, through three innings so far, has given up 2 earned runs with 3 walks issued. No strikeouts yet. Counts at 0-1. Marthaljani watches this pitch come in too far to the inside. Count will move to 2 balls and no strikes. Blue Raiders finding unorthodox ways to score. They also scored on a throwing error earlier in the game, creating their own luck, so to speak. But Torbett not lucky right now. That's ball number 3, as again it went too far to the inside. Trying to avoid allowing Sam Houston with another runner on base. They've gotten a runner on base in every inning so far. Torbett does deliver a strike, and the count moves to 3-1. Home plate umpire today is Jareel Proctor. Matthew Herrera is at first base, and Archer Flores Pareda is at third for our umpiring crew. Ground ball to third, picked up by Von Dolan, throws on to first, and that will be a 5-3 for out number 1. So that was a good recovery from Torbett and MTSU, taking what was a 3-0 count and getting a ground out of it on Marthaljani. Kirby Orth will come to the plate for the Bearcats, the number 8 man in the order. Both teams with 3 hits so far in this contest. MTSU with a 3-2 lead. All sorts of drama so far in this rubber match, if you needed any reminder of that circumstance. This pitch going to be a little bit outside. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders are 22-21 right now. 9-11 in conference play. Can get win number 10 in CUSA this year with a win today. But here is a drive into right field for a base hit from Kirby Orth, and he's got a 1-out single. That was a good piece of hitting by Orth. Got it right through the 4-3 hole, past Clapp and O'Neill. And that shot into shallow right field will send on Jace Martinez, who got a single of his own the last time he was up to bat. Right up the middle, past Cole Torbett, as a matter of fact, right below his feet, basically. Bearcats would then follow up with a Ryan Frandon RBI double after the fact that would tie the game. MTSU doesn't want to get that kind of deja vu. Torbett takes a look at first towards Orth and can't quite get him. Orth has now reached base twice in this game, reached on a walk back in the second. Now a single here in the fourth. Martinez, the second baseman, watches this pitch come in from Torbett, and he delivers a nice breaking ball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Staying over at first here is Orth, as Torbett going to go with a high breaking ball. That'll move the count to 1-1 against Jace Martinez. Orth has stolen 3 bases this season, by the way, but still not the most prolific base stealer that the Bearcats have at their disposal. 1-1 pitch, as this one is placed in high by Torbett. Count goes to 2-1. 78 mile per hour breaking ball. Torbett does not yet have a strikeout in this game, but he's always threatening to do so for MTSU. Had 6 strikeouts against Delaware last weekend in his 8 2/3 performance against the Blue Hens. I'm sure if it was up to him, he'd go the complete game here today. Not sure if that'll be possible. Counts 2-1. Here's a ground ball to short, rocketed to Badalak. There's 1 out at second. Throw to first in time for the double play. 6-4-3, and MTSU slams the door right on the Bearcats' face. Score remains 3-2. Hey, while we've got a moment, folks, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on WGNS.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, WGNS. Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here.
We'll be back in 1 minute for the top half of the 5th inning. MTSU on top 3-2 over the Bearcats on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
With nearly 200 majors and concentrations for undergrads and more than 100 graduate programs, of which I'm a part of one, Middle Tennessee State University has something for everyone, including more than 50 online degrees. Do you want high-quality, affordable education? It's not too late to apply. Learn more at mtsu.edu. Blue Raiders on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats by a score of 3-2. Dylan Simmons with you here on this Sunday afternoon. MTSU trying to take the rubber match against the Bearcats. Brett Von Dolan will lead off this frame for MTSU, and he smokes the ball past third base, and they're going to say it's a foul ball just barely. I thought for a second that was fair. It was very close at the bag, but third base umpire made the call and denied Brett Von Dolan of what would have surely been an extra base hit. Seen a couple of odd plays over there in that shallow left field area today. As this pitch gets by Von Dolan, count goes to 1-1. Blue Raiders on top by a score of 3-2, trying to add to the lead. Von Dolan grounded out to third his last time up, pops this one up in the infield. Third baseman Frandon wants it and comes up to make the catch for out number one. So that's a little bit of a punch to the gut for Von Dolan. Looked like he had a surefire extra base hit, but instead the ball missed the third base bag, and then he pops it up to Frandon for the first out of the fifth inning. Clay Badalak will come to the plate. Flew a ball out to left back in the third inning. Has had a pretty good weekend so far, all things considered. Yesterday for MTSU, Badalak was able to get a hit with 2 runs. Got a couple hits on Friday as well, so already a 3-hit weekend for Badalak. In his third year with MTSU, counts at 1-0. This pitch by Hickman is low. Badalak originally transferred in from Frontier Community College. He's out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Entered the weekend with a 160 average. Took home a few Raiders' Choice Awards last year as well, including Male Breakout Athlete of the Year. And he, who knows, maybe up for some more RCAs coming up this week. Make sure you stay tuned for all the information on that. Counts at 3-0. There's a strike for Hickman to stop what would have been a potential walk for Clay Badalak. I believe that RCA show is on Thursday if you're curious. Should be a live stream of it. Counts at 3-1. And there's strike 2. So the count will move full on Clay Badalak, and this is a good recovery for Tate Hickman after he had Badalak at a 3-0 count. Payoff pitch coming up for the lefty batter. 3-2. Badalak delivers a fly ball into shallow right center for a base hit. And Badalak will stop at first base with a one-out single. A really nice piece of hitting by Clay Badalak. Like we said, I've described him as sneaky good, and he's had a sneaky good weekend. That is his 4th hit against the Bearcats, and the Blue Raiders have a runner aboard against Tate Hickman. So we go back to the top of the order, and on comes Owen Nowak. Already a solo home run shot today. Grounded out on a 3-1 back in the 3rd inning, and now trying to do some damage here in the top of the 5th against Hickman. Here's a ground ball to second. Martinez picks it up. Out at second is Badalak. Nowak advances on to first on a fielder's choice, so there will be no double play. But there are now 2 away here in the top half of the 5th inning, so Badalak will be retired. Nowak at first. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate. And I thought for a second that would be the perfect setup for a double play, but instead, Nowak used his speed, which we've talked a lot about, to keep the inning alive, at least for the moment. Minnick to the plate, watches Hickman's pitch go by, counts at 1-0. We've seen some creative and fun baseball already in this afternoon's matchup, and I'd say we're far from done with what these two teams have doled out today. Here's Minnick, softly hit ball to short, picked up and thrown to second for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top half of the 5th inning. Blue Raiders come up empty against the Bearcats, and on to the bottom of the 5th we go. MTSU up 3-2, back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
3-2 is your score here in this matchup on the Blue Raider Network. Middle Tennessee on top of the Sam Houston Bearcats at Don Sanders Stadium as we approach the bottom half of the 5th inning. Dylan Simmons with you, and what's been a very entertaining game thus far. Very back and forth, very competitive, and no one team has been able to get a huge bit of separation in this contest. Seems like whenever one team's had an answer, the other team comes right back with their own. However, MTSU has maintained a 1-run lead since the top half of the 4th inning, and will look to keep that going against Sam Houston in this bottom of the 5th, with Cole Torbett still on the mound after 4 innings of work, facing off here with Ryan Frandon, a man who's been very dangerous this weekend for the Bearcats. Already has a couple of home runs, got a big-time 2-run double in his last at-bat, and now leading off proceedings in the bottom half of the 5th inning as Tyler Minnick adjusts his face mask behind the plate. Counts at 1-0, so Torbett has to be wary of what Frandon can do. Frandon's 2-run home run yesterday against Gavin King late was the lone dark spot on what was otherwise a near flawless performance for King on his way to a victory. Counts at 2-0 for Torbett. And Frandon got a solo home run shot on Chandler Alderman in game number 1. So he's had some success to some degree against every single pitcher that MTSU has doled out this weekend, at least for the most part. There's a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Torbett trying to avoid issuing another walk. He's already walked Frandon once in this game and has given up 3 total. 3-1 pitch, and that'll be the second walk issued to Ryan Frandon in this contest. A 5-pitch walk worked by the third baseman, and the tying run is at first base for the Bearcats. Jarek Curtis will come to the plate. Center fielder has grounded out twice, grounded out to short his last time up in the 2nd inning. Trying to spring forward Ryan Frandon. Of course, Curtis came into the weekend leading in several categories for Sam Houston, but hasn't had the most success against MTSU this weekend for whatever reason. He was the team leader in batting average, hits, and doubles entering the series. .315 average today with 47 hits and 28 runs. And here's a fly ball that gets down into left field and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Runners at 2nd and 3rd for the Bearcats, and it's the 2nd time today we've seen a ground rule double. One from each side now, as that ball bounced off the turf in left field up over the wall, and that may have been the best thing that could have happened for MTSU, because if that ball had stayed inside the ballpark, Ryan Frandon probably would have scored. So instead, runners at second and third on another extra base hit for the Bearcats, with Curtis at second base and Frandon at third, and now Cade Corcoran to the plate, and the chance to take the lead is very much there for Sam Houston with no outs. Torbeck, curveball driven into right field for a base hit. Coming home and scoring is Frandon. Curtis around third. He will score as well. And it's a 2-run RBI single to give Sam Houston the lead by the freshman, Cade Corcoran. 4-3 Bearcats, and Cade Corcoran with a beautiful shot into right field has given Sam Houston their first lead in this game. And we said it at the top of the broadcast, this would be a game of answers, and that was a massive answer for Sam Houston. Their second 2 RBI hit today. Nathan Fink will come to the plate as Tyler Minnick wants to talk things over with Cole Torbett. That's a gut punch to give up as a pitcher, but it's one that Sam Houston put together with a nice sequence of hitting. And now we have to wonder, how long will that leash be on Cole Torbett in this bottom half of the 5th inning with already 4 innings thrown in this contest? There is action in the Blue Raider bullpen, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But I'd have to imagine that Jerry Myers will be keeping a very close eye on this situation to see if he needs to potentially make a pitching change on Torbett. You do not want to give up any more runs in this bottom half of the 5th to further spring Sam Houston, and here comes Myers. Going to make his way out of the dugout and at least have a conversation with Cole Torbett. And it looks like they are going to make a call to the MTSU bullpen, it appears. So we'll see a new pitcher make his way out in just a moment as Cole Torbett's day, it appears, will come to an end after 4 innings of work and 4 earned runs given up. Not a bad performance, but Sam Houston able to challenge him late. So we'll take a 1-minute timeout here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner and find out who the new pitcher is for MTSU.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.